You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today is episode 159, Goal Deconstruction 101. If you're a business owner who wants to improve your time management and elevate your productivity so that you can maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you joined me. Today, we're going to be diving into the topic of goal setting, but not your typical goal setting. I'm going to peel it back and share with you the best strategies that I have learned over the years working with hundreds of business owners on goal setting. Now, this episode is a two-part series, and next week, episode 160, I'm going to show you how to take your goals from good, better, and best. This two-part goal setting series is brought to you by my Goal Achievement Workshop. I want to personally invite you, after you're listening to this episode, that if you want to get past just setting goals and really execute on your goals, if you want to transform your big dreams into big realities, I would love to invite you for a 2-hour live virtual workshop with me, where I'm going to teach you the specific strategies I use to help my clients achieve their goals. You can find out more by going to theproductivityspecialist.com/goal workshop. The goal workshop will take place on July 17th, 2020, and I would love to personally see you there, as I'll help you actually during the workshop, not just set goals, but show you how to actually execute on them. Because boy, did 2020 throw us some curveballs. But if you're anything like me, the reason I'm doing this two-part series and this goal achievement workshop is because I believe that we need a reset, and we are going to reclaim our goals, and we are going to finish off 2020 strong. And I want to give you all the tools and resources to do exactly that. So head on over to find out more at theproductivityspecialist.com/goal workshop. And now let's get to the straight talk. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you how you can take an annual revenue goal and deconstruct it and break it down to where it absolutely feels attainable. And in fact, by deconstructing these larger yearly goals into smaller milestones, we are often able to wrap our minds around how we are going to actually achieve that goal, and it doesn't feel as intimidating. Now, this strategy, with all caution, is not revolutionary, but what I have seen is that it's simply not being used by small business owners in a sense of large corporations forecast annual revenue, quarterly revenue, monthly revenue. Often monthly revenue goes down to weekly revenue and even daily goals and targets. But yet in our small businesses, maybe we think our revenue is not big enough to do that, or perhaps our brains just simply don't think that way. I want to invite you to a very simple way of increasing the odds of attaining your goals by deconstructing and breaking them down. So I'm going to use the goal of revenue, because if you haven't heard me say this before, I am going to share it with you again here and keep sharing it over and over, because this is a message that I think is so important for business owners. When we set our goals, well, our business is going to have lots of projects and milestones. The one specific goal that trumps all else should be revenue/profitability goals. And the reason we focus on that is not because we're money hungry or that it's even the first or most important reason we're in business. We often are in business because we want to serve the world with our unique talents. We want to make an impact on the lives of our customers. And I totally get that. And I come from the same place as well. But over the years, what I have really recognized is that while those are great reasons to be in business, when we look at setting goals, the reason we want to focus on revenue/profitability goals is that it really makes it clear that we're building a business that's sustainable. And when we build a business that is sustainable, we are then able to serve and have a bigger impact on the people that are on our team, our employees, our team members. We're able to have a bigger impact on our clients, our customers whom we serve. By being profitable, we are also able to have a bigger impact on our own personal families and thus the things that we are most passionate about. Where you donate your money, where you give through charity. All of that can happen when we have a very sustainable, successful business. And in fact, when our businesses are sustainable and profitable, we are then, in fact, as business owners, able to reclaim time that we can donate and show up in other places to make a huge impact. Now, these conversations that I have are in service of these goals. I have clients that work with me with regards to time management and productivity that have come to me before and said, Amber, I want to work with you because I want to learn how to be most efficient and effective with my time in my business so I can work 4 days a week and volunteer 1 day a week. I have other clients that are building thriving businesses because this is the talent they can bring into the world. But the real reason they're doing so is because they have these huger, bigger dreams of the impact that they can make on causes that are so close to their heart. So please don't get me twisted when I'm telling you, you got to focus on the revenue and profitability. It's not a negative. It's actually a very, very much positive thing. Another reason why we want to focus on revenue/profitability in the business is because it makes it laser clear the priority of these goals. When I was sharing with you that today's episode is about goal setting, my guess is that you were referencing or thinking about a bunch of goals, maybe 10 goals or 5 goals. And that quite possibly can be your list of goals for this year or next year. In fact, when I do client onboarding sessions and I ask my clients for their goals, I have never had a client onboard with me with one goal. And so I am not saying one goal at the expense of the others, but prioritizing that one goal will ultimately make it much clearer for you on how you actually prioritize your activities, your tasks, and your projects. Because those then become supporting roles to the priority role of revenue and profitability. All right, so now that we're on the same page with your ultimate number one goal being revenue/profitability in your business, actually, let me pause there for a second. Why am I saying revenue/profitability? Revenue is the income that your business is making. Profitability is what your business makes after all its expenses and taxes. Now, I definitely forecast goals specifically around revenue and profitability and watch that in my business. But the easiest way to start out with goal setting would certainly be to track your revenue. And that is only half of the equation because then you're going to track your expenses. And when you are tracking both and keeping those in alignment, you will get your profitability. All right, so for simplicity reasons and for the rest of this episode, I'm going to refer to your number one goal as revenue, income into your business. And the goal we're going to use, because I am not a math whiz and to keep this simple, is $100,000 for the year. Okay, so if you want to add an extra zero to there, go right ahead. If you want to do something less that is specific, just follow along with the number that makes sense for your business. I remember when I first set out into my business and I was leaving my corporate income and I was like, I'm going to make $100,000. And that $100,000 was like amazing. Like I couldn't barely even wrap my mind around not just making it, but like, how would I make 100,000? What does that look like? And I think that if you are setting big goals, as I think you should be, they should feel scary. And you should not really have all the answers on the how when you're setting that goal. We want the goal to be realistic, meaning it's attainable, but not something that is within your comfort zone, because there's ultimately no growth with setting goals year after year within your comfort zone. So when I set out for my first year of a goal being $100,000, I can tell you that I didn't necessarily have the tools that I have now and what I'm going to share with you on how to not just set a goal and then it becomes something that kind of gets lost and not revisited throughout the year. Or perhaps you set the goal, but there's not a real plan on how that's actually going to be attained. So what I want you to do is break it down. So I want you to first ask yourself, to make $100,000 this year, how much do I need to make in a quarter? So in 3 months, I need to make $25,000. My mind can wrap around $25,000. But let's dig deeper and ask ourselves, to make $100,000 this year, how much do I need to make this month? I would need to make $8,333 this month. Now, presuming I'm starting at zero and it's January, I am now looking at a number that no matter how big the number was that you started with, it's much smaller and manageable. And when we can wrap our minds around that number, it's then that we start asking different questions. The questions would be something like, well, how can I make $8,333? What revenue streams can I get up and going or increase to hit the $8,333? Or better yet, maybe you're going to ask yourself even more specific questions that's industry specific. How many homes do I need to sell? How many clients do I need to do full design for? How many websites do I need to design a month to make $8,333? How many clients do I need to coach a month to have income of $8,333? I want you to ask yourself the question that is specific to your industry. And perhaps you have multiple income streams. But when we start asking questions, what happens is our brains open up and they want to solve that. Now, if we would have asked ourselves and stuck at, how am I going to make $100,000 this year? You possibly could have come up with that, and I'm not saying it's impossible. But if your brain gets stuck first thinking, ooh, that's a lot. How am I going to do that? That seems like I don't have all the answers. You don't need all the answers. And quite frankly, I have never seen a plan that was created in January look the same in December. And so by doing this, we can back it all the way up and say, what do I need to do this month or this quarter to earn X amount of dollars? And here's the great part. If it's not working, you can adjust for next month or next quarter. And if you are starting this in the middle of the year, as I suspect you would be, as this episode is going out halfway through the year, you can either set your goal for a rolling 12 months or take your annual goal that you had in January and subtract how much revenue you have year to date, and then divide that over 6 months that's left. And that will give you the new number. And if there was a gap, meaning you weren't on target, for example, with the 8,333, it will give you a new number a bit higher, but you could still get back on track for the last part of 2020. Now, once we're able to wrap our minds around that number and start asking questions, we can dig deeper. After you say, for example, how many homes do I need to sell to make $8,333? You can say, well, how many people do I need to talk to close 2 deals? And now you're to the magic. You are now identifying specific activities that you can control and focus on that seem so bite-sizable that if you consistently show up and track your revenue, my guess is you will hit the $100,000 because now you're managing the activity and not the dollars. By having these goals broken down from yearly to quarterly to monthly, the other added benefit is you can clearly see if you are on track or off track. As small business owners, we are always going to have some ups and some downs, okay? I don't usually see income that is exactly the same month after month. And so if your revenue is seasonal, then adjust for it. Perhaps you decrease the 3 months in the summer and bump up the 3 months over winter. But on average, you're still going to make the $100,000. It is completely acceptable to modify your goals month over month that ultimately will get you to your annual goal. So I want you to consider that as well. But I also want you to consider that when you are tracking this month over month, you're not going to be waiting till the end of the quarter to figure out if you're on track or not and have to make up even more in the revenue gap. You're not going to wait certainly till the end of the year and then count your money and say, oh my gosh, I wasn't anywhere close. I want you to be able to course correct by tracking the metrics of what is your revenue month over month? And what is, if any, is the gap between what revenue target you needed to hit that annual goal? All right, this was one very specific strategy on how to set goals that are actually achievable and we can wrap our minds around. Now, I did share with you at the beginning of this episode that this is a 2-part series. And next week, I'm going to be sharing with you how to specifically set good, better, best goals and how that absolutely helps you increase what you think is possible for yourself. And these 2 episodes are all about goal setting. And so whether you've already set your goals or you want to refine how you set your goals after listening to this episode, I am most certain you want to know how to actually achieve your goals. So I am inviting you to join me inside my Goal Achievement Workshop. It's a 2-hour live workshop where I'm going to walk you through my specific strategies on not just how to set these goals and forget about them or set them and wonder how exactly this looks day to day. I'm going to give you the strategies of how to take this from big dreams to big realities. Find out more over at theproductivityspecialist.com/goal workshop. I have loved having you listen to this episode of Productivity Straight Talk, and I sure hope you found today's strategy for goal setting to be incredibly valuable. No change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So set up a little coffee date with yourself and dream big of what could actually be possible for you and your business. And I want you to identify what that revenue number is. And just take a scratch piece of paper and divide that number into 4. And that will give you your quarterly goals. And then do it again. Take that big number and divide it by 12. And that is going to give you your monthly revenue goals. But do not stop there, because the magic is in asking the questions specifically to how can I make X amount of revenue in 1 month? How can I bring in X amount of clients to hit that number? How can I serve X amount of people, close X amount of deals? And then once you have that, identify the activity that most impacts clients coming into you. And that is a metric that you can actually focus on. And then forever, you don't need to ever think about the $100,000 or whatever that number is that may feel intimidating. And now you focus on the activity, bite size after bite size. And you've also created the most simplistic metrics for you and your business to see if you are on track and how you can make adjustments month over month. I am rooting for you. I am rooting for you to take back your business in 2020, to get back on track if you feel like you have gotten off track mid-year. I really, really want this for you. And so sometimes the biggest changes can be the most simple changes. A recommitment to your goals, getting so clear about what that is month over month, and then making a plan on how you're going to achieve it. It could be the ultimate game changer. So that's my straight talk for you today. Until next time, have a productive week.